Nobody tells you this when you start changing your life, but you're going to lose people.
Friends you thought would be around forever, conversations get weird. You start realizing you're growing, and not everyone wants to grow with you. It's lonely at first, but it's normal, and it's worth it.
Anyways, before we get too deep, we're actually out here building a new desk for a new hire. Let's get into it. All right guys, quick and random update, but we're gonna get a new employee. It's gonna be a new hire. So because we're gonna get the new hire, we gotta go to the Home Depot and we gotta get a few materials to build their desk. But that's actually a good segue into today's topic, which is some of the friends we lost along the way. I know that the people that we have right now, we've gotten to know them, so they become really good friends.
Yeah, the ones that we like.
Yeah, it's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, mostly.
I'm not gonna say we have a lot of experience, but we have 12 to 15 years of entrepreneurial experience. Mm-hmm. They're not all successful, but we've lost a lot of people along the way. Some by choice, others not, because we just drifted, but we're gonna get into it.
Awesome.
I think like anyone, straight out of high school, you're always gonna lose friends, and it's because you're going different routes. Some people wanna go to school, some people wanna go straight to work. Some people, I mean, they like the hood life, especially the YOLOs. You're gonna naturally be drifting apart as you start getting older. Now for us, once we started business, I know we wanted something more. We had clear goals of what we wanted to achieve, which is retire our parents, provide for them, buy them a house. And so our goals were clear. And I think for the most part, like I mentioned, everyone wanted to do different things. So naturally we just drifted apart. Straight out of high school, I lost contact with a lot of people. I still had contact with like 4 or 5 people that I always hung around with. And I think that's when I realized that, yeah, after high school, after your first couple of jobs, after you start getting a career, you're gonna lose a lot of friends. In the beginning, it didn't bother me. Even to this point right now, it still kind of doesn't bother me because, like I mentioned, I have my goals, I have clear expectations. I still have a few friends and I still talk to them, but I don't need like hundreds of friends. I don't need too many friends. It's just a couple of friends that, you know, if I need something or just want to hang out, then I'm able to do that. So at least for me, it's, you know, like not that big of a deal. Maybe because I'm a guy too. Maybe you guys are just like that, no? Mm-hmm. So I told you 1.5 or 1 1/4.
You didn't tell me anything. But it looks like that. Because the legs wouldn't fit in that one. At least 4.
2 feet 24. So yeah, it is gonna be 4.
Okay. Heavier.
And I guess a hack, if you have a foldable table, the ones that you use at a picnic, and you wanna make it a stand-up desk and just purely stand-up desk, buying PVC pipes is gonna allow you to do that. And it's gonna be cheap, it's like $5 each. So $20 to make it a stand-up desk. Or you can just buy a new one. Up to you.
I know definitely as we started growing and we started maturing and we started growing personally, developing, was that people used to call me Juanito a lot. Like kind of like, not belittling, but like Juanito, hey Juanito. But now, no one other than that accountant that one time he called me Juanito. That's the only time, but they used to kind of like, it's kind of, oh, Juanito, it's kind of like my little friend. Well, not like that, but it's my friend.
Like buddy, huh? The word buddy?
My buddy, my friend, my little friend, my younger friend, because I have the tendency to have older friends. They used to call me that a lot, Juanito, but now you can tell in the way they talk to me and the way they communicate with me, it's a lot more respectful. It's a lot more like by the name Juan.
Have you had moments where people made passive-aggressive comments about your guys' success?
It's been family more than friends.
Yeah. Oh, when we started posting content, a lot of people from high school started seeing that, and there was a comment made like, "Oh, look, this guy's a millionaire now." So it's just like little comments like that, or like, "Oh, look, now he has his small business, his little business." Oh, like you mentioned, it's mostly been with family.
Yeah, because for me on my end, granted, I don't pay attention. Like in social media, I only watch funny videos. And so other than that, I don't keep up with anyone. And so like, I haven't seen anything from anyone. So that's on my end. But usually from what I've seen, I heard, it does come from family.
Yeah.
Like jealousy?
Yeah, to an extent, I think it does come from jealousy. But one of the things that in my head, I'm like, I kind of don't care. And I don't care to not show off, but I stopped caring a lot because if you look at where we came from and what we did in order to get here, why would we have shame? And if anything, we should be proud of what we did and what we have because we worked for it. So to have shame or to kind of like care of what they think, like I don't really care.
Well, these are just my personal opinions, but I think that as you start leveling up, sometimes the people you hang around with, they get a little bit scared because they themselves, they don't want to change. They don't want to put in the work, especially like the people that we have fun with. They don't want to put in the work. And so now that you're doing a lot of stuff, maybe to an extent, they kind of feel like bad, like, fuck, I'm not doing anything. So let me just I'll get this person, away from me so I don't have to change.
Outgrowing your friendships, I think, is something that will come naturally, especially if you have goals that you want to hit, because not everyone has the same goals. And so the expectation should be, if you have your own goals that you want to reach and not everyone has the same goals, then the expectation and what you should see is you outgrowing or you moving away from those type of friendships. And then and as you progress through life, achieving those goals, you're gonna meet a lot of people. Like, we've met a lot of people, not necessarily friends, but we met a lot of people that, we just started talking to a lot more. And so it's just that should be an expectation, that because you're going after your goals and because you're working hard and because you're succeeding, naturally you're just gonna develop new friendships.
One of the things we've learned, one of the things we've experienced, especially in 2018, is that sometimes being an entrepreneur, sometimes reaching your goals, you're gonna have to make a lot of sacrifices. And to an extent, it is gonna be a little bit lonely. It came to a point where it got really lonely in 2018, where I didn't have enough funds. My paycheck was covering all the loans. And so there was times where people told me, hey, let's go out. But I didn't have money, because then if not, I would have gotten into more debt. So it was a whole year and a half that I didn't do anything. I didn't go out with friends. Me and you, we only worked. So we were in the grind 24/7, trying to get out of debt. So it was a period of time, I think, that was the loneliest, because no one knew our struggles. No one cared about our struggles. They had their own struggles. So there's always going to be a point in time, especially in the beginning, where if you want to become an entrepreneur, you want to have your own business, it's going to be lonely. Maybe your friends don't understand you. Your parents may not understand you, but it's just proving yourself. I'll blow into the pipe, no diddy. So we're back at the table. Like I mentioned at the Home Depot, if you want to build a table, just get PVC pipe. We cut it down to 18 inches because we found that that's the best height. Granted, you could say that we're shorter because we're Mexican. For the taller people, it might be the full 24 inches, but for us, it's 18 inches. So we're gonna set it up and we'll show you how it looks like.
Nah. We're Mexicans, we can do anything. That's a good height.
It is.
Nice.
So, what's the difference between your old circle and your circle you have now?
Definitely, it's a lot smaller than what it was before. If not, it's non-existent. Like how I mentioned, honestly, I could probably it's less than the hand of my fingers on my hand. It's just really 1, 2, and those are brothers. Outside of that, maybe some people here, like, someone that we've known for a long time. So yeah, definitely like around 4 or 5, as opposed to before when I used to be in high school and there was a bunch of friends, there was a group of guys, there was just a bunch of people that we all used to play soccer and all that. So you could argue and say that was my group of circle, and it was 10, 15, 20, whatever it was. But now it really is just less than 5. So it definitely got a lot smaller.
Yep. So final takeaway, final thought, being an entrepreneur or going after any career that's high level, high performing, it is going to be lonely. There's people that are probably not going to understand you. Why are you working so hard? Just go out and party, just take a day off, take a break. So you're going to be misunderstood, which is going to cause a little bit of loneliness, in the sense that you're just going to have to put your head down. You're going to have to tough it out for however long you need to achieve your goals. And so that's going to be towards the beginning for anyone. That's always going to happen. But as you start achieving some of your goals, you have a little bit more time, or maybe some of your goals change, it's going to change. Like for us, it was just us two. Since 2012, 2013, 2014, it was just me and my brother. I know we had friends, but at least in business, it was just us two for the longest. I know it changed in 2018. 2017, 2018, when we got, the first person on board. We lost everything, and then coming back in 2019, 2020, that's when we started ramping up, we started growing, and we started bringing in the people that had similar values to us, had the similar goals of improving themselves. And eventually you are gonna meet those other business owners, but then on our case, it was the people working here. Don't get discouraged that you're gonna be losing friends. It's a part of the journey, not just in business. If you want to go into a certain career, there's people that are not going to understand you. So it's a part of the journey. It's a part of life. You're not always going to have your childhood friends. You're not going to have your middle school friends, your high school friends, your college friends, neighbors. mentors, they're not always going to stay the same because maybe something doesn't align anymore, which is not going to make sense. So that's a part of the journey. I'll say it, yeah.
Yeah, you don't, and that's one of the things, and I know it depends on the type of personality that you do have. Because for me, like, I don't really have the necessity or the need or want to have any friends per se. Like, I really just care about my goals and the family and the people close to me, and that's really it. So I feel like we shouldn't fit into the social norms of like, oh, you have to have friends, you have to have a balance, you have to have, you know, this and that. If you don't want any friends, if they don't add anything to you, then so be it. I mean, I will say that networking and connecting with people that are actually like similar to you and they aspire to the same things, I think that's good, and that is something that we should do. We haven't done, but we should do, and we are gonna start doing. But if you don't have any friends, then that's fine. And if you want a friend, then just buy a dog. I don't know.
That's good.